Hello and welcome to online worship at UCPC Upper Clyde Parish Church. Now, while this is for many of us a different way of being church, nevertheless, it's good to be able to join together for worship through the wonders of technology. And that technology has been a quick and steep learning curve for many of us, I suspect. Harking back to last week's readings, it's we who are the living stones that, regardless of where we are, we make up the church. Whether you're joining from within or without the parish, and at whatever time, our God is worthy of praise and worship, anytime and in any place. Before we move more fully into our time of worship, there's a few notices. I hope you're sitting comfortably. They're a little lengthy, so bear with me. The first notice is that, well, this time of year is normally the week that the General Assembly of the Church of Scotland meets. We're organised around a three-tiered structure of church courts. So as at the local level, we have the Kirk Session, which is responsible for the decision-making processes within the parish. Then there's a gathering of parishes together in a regional area called the Presbytery. And then the top tier, the top court of the Church of Scotland is the General Assembly. And that meets once a year in May in this week. However, this is not normal. As you know, we are normally is not quite where we're at the moment with our lockdown. So the assembly has been cancelled. However, one event that does happen every year on the Sunday of the assembly is a gathering in Princess Street known as Heart and Soul. It's a brilliant event, actually. Now, while that's not going to be able to happen in Princess Street this year, technology has stepped in. And so this afternoon from 2 p.m, there's going to be an online version of it. So if you just go to the Church of Scotland website, you'll find the link there and you can live stream that between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock. There'll be great music, some good conversation, and you'll have that opportunity to see the wider work of parishes and presbyteries and the Church of Scotland in general around Scotland. It's a jolly good thing. I will, at the bottom of this particular clip, I will try and embed the link and you can come back to that after worship and click on that. It's also embedded into our blog site if you've come through the blog site, so you can go back there and click on that and it'll take you straight to the link for live streaming. A wee note about worship. I'd planned this year on having 2 songs of praise services, one in spring and one in the autumn. However, that has not come to pass. Now, I was wondering, I think we can still do some kind of workaround on this. It doesn't have to stop you, just because we're in lockdown, it doesn't have to stop you all nominating your favourite hymns. I could include them over the next while in worship, or we could actually have one dedicated Sunday where we have a good lot of hymns rolling through with some comments and brief reflections like we would normally do on one of our Songs of Praise Sundays. So phone me, email me, get in touch. Let me know what hymns, what praise songs you might like to see included, both in our regular diet of online Sunday worship and if we were to have a Songs of Praise Sunday. That should be quite fun. And it's always good to work collaboratively on that sort of stuff. Now then, readers, for those of you who are used to reading in church and haven't been able to because of lockdown, I'm having a wee trial to see how we might do a recording of your voices. If you have a mobile phone, you can download a recording app if your phone doesn't have that. Anyway, it's better to hear a few different voices than just mine. This week we're trialing it. Keith and Morag have been our reading guinea pigs for this week. So if you'd like to have a go at trying to record one of the readings for our upcoming Sundays, again, get in touch with me and we'll see what we can do to make that happen. It's always good to have a variety of voices in worship, I think. Thanks in advance, by the way. Now, from the pastoral side of things, just again, the usual thank you for all that you're doing while we're in lockdown. I mean, I know that some of you have been supporting community groups like the Food Bank. Some of you were making donations last week to Christian Aid for Christian Aid Week. And a lot of you are saving your stamps for the work of Crossreach. That's just some of they're just some of the activities that you're doing, all manageable even in lockdown. There are those of you who are doing the good work of prayer, others who are ringing around and checking in on folk, and so many different ways showing practical care. So thank you for all that you're doing during this interesting time we find ourselves in, for showing your love and compassion for friends and neighbours, both far and near. Basically, practicing love in action. And the usual request from me on pastoral care, if you know of anyone who might usefully be referred to the food bank, get in touch, I can do that. Or who might just welcome a friendly listening ear or just a wee chat on the phone, do let me know. And again, that's that parish congregational teamwork. Okay, thank you for doing that. Thinking about practicing love in action, this brings us to the wider theme of our worship this morning. We are thinking about love. We'll be spending time particularly thinking about what love is, what love isn't, as we reflect on Paul's first letter to the Corinthians, that great chapter on love, chapter 13. And over the course of worship, there are going to be several wee clips that look at love. First, what love is when seen within the context of human relationships. Love is a circle of friendship, of family, of connection. And then later looking at love not so much as a noun, but as a verb, love in action. So there'll be a couple of clips showing practical ways to love. Love lived within the circle of justice with compassion. And having said all of that, let's be still a moment and let's prepare ourselves to meet with God in worship during this time, after which we will have a call to worship. So let's be still. Let's prepare our hearts, our minds, our whole selves to meet with God. God alone is our refuge and hope, our shelter and our protection. From our very first breath to our last, God's love and compassion never fails. So come, lift your voices in praise to God, bear witness to God's acts of mercy and love. Proclaim God's glory to all who will listen. Let us worship God together. Our first hymn today is God is Love, Let Heaven Adore Him.